Let's move to the next deck. Now, in this particular deck, you can see that by taking the advantage of the modern hardware trends, we are enabling the new applications, with high real-time processing threats, and since the addressable market size is also increasing, so that's the kind of direction that we are heading to. So if you see on the deck on the at the lower bottom, right? So you see that the memory prices, they are declining steadily. Also, the CPU power or the CPU clock rate, I should say, that's getting stalled over a period of time. And since you have multi-core processors available, so these are basically the driving factors behind this in-memory OLTP. On the second stack, or on the second horizontal stack, you can see that what are the main components of the in-memory OLTP architecture. You have the in-memory optimized data, right? You have indexes of two different types. We're going to talk about it shortly as well, right? There is no buffer pool sort of thing. It's all using B-tree structures. Sorry, no buffer pool or B-tree structures. It's rather it's just the pointers that it uses to kind of form a table. It's a linked list sort of thing, right? Also, you have T-SQL compiled to machine code. So this is nothing but the native T-SQL that I spoke about a while back, right? And as a result of which it does not needs to be recompiled each and every time it executes, right? Every time a SQL server is restarted, these DLLs for your machine code are loaded into the engine, right? Also, it gives you a lock-free and a latch-free environment, so there is high amount of concurrency, and that is actually achieved using a multi-version optimistic concurrency control. And also, to let you know that though it is an in-memory data and you have multi-version optimistic concurrency control, but that does not mean that we are not following the ACID properties, right? I hope every one of you understand ACID properties, right? For a database to be a relational database management system, it has to follow all the ACID properties. ACID is atomic, C is consistency, I is isolation, and D is durability, right? So even though we are working on in-memory data, that the data is totally durable, and it's highly transactional, right? And it persists forever, unless you have an option enabled wherein you can actually have non-durable memory optimized tables as well. So we are going to see that in the syntax. Now, as I said, there are no locks, there are no lock managers, no heavy locks, no heavy latches, right? So I'm not saying that there are no locks at all. Locks are there, right? But as in, we do not have any heavy locking, right, when we are talking about in-memory OLTP. So we'll see that in action in the demo. Last but not the least, this is the most important area, right? Because when the customers want to move to SQL 2014, right, that does not mean that they will have to kind of move their entire application or migrate their entire application, right? It offers seamless integration with your existing SQL Server architecture. So as in when we talk about the SQL 2014 in-memory OLTP, though it is a separate database engine, but it is actually offered with the traditional database engine capabilities that SQL Server has been offering in the past, right? So you just install things the way you have been doing till SQL 2012, and it is just that you need to kind of enable certain tables as in-memory tables, right? The tables that are used most in your environment, right? Or heavy workload tables, right? And you're good to go. Now, as a result of this, on the topmost, you see that there are definitely a lot of benefits associated with this. So you have high performance data operations, you have efficient business logic processing, you have frictionless scale up, and you have hybrid engine and integrated experience. Right. So on this particular deck, you know, as I said, it helps you increase both the transactional speed and the throughput by removing the contention in the database, right? Also, in addition to speed, we also improved throughput because our engineering teams actually came up with an algorithm to remove the locks and latches without compromising on the durability, right? Which I already mentioned to you in the previous deck. Now, what this means is it kind of helps you in massive reduction of contention in the database, which leads to increased throughput as well as the high speed. Now, on the top corner, you can see, sorry, on the bottom left corner, you can see that there are certain case studies associated with it as well. You see the Bwin.com, right? So Bwin is actually an ISV in the online gaming industry, and for them, transaction equates to the revenue that they generate, right? So meaning the more amount of transactions that they are able to sustain with their application, the better is their revenue, right? So with this in-memory OLTP design point of optimized table structures, they were actually able to improve their transactional speeds by almost 16 times, and thereby they could actually increase their player capacity by about 20 times on the same hardware, right? Now, since the contention got significantly reduced, they were also able to cut the player response times by about 50 milliseconds to 3 milliseconds, right? So that's a huge reduction in terms of the wait that the player had to kind of face, right? So that was the kind of performance improvement that Bwin got, right? Now, let's move further and see. Now, when we're talking about in-memory OLTP, there are certain terminologies or certain terms that are associated to it that you need to be aware of, right? The first one being memory optimized tables. So when I say memory optimized tables, what I'm referring to is the tables which are going to use the new data structures, right, which are added as a part of an in-memory OLTP. Next is disk-based tables. So when I say disk-based tables, I'm referring to the alternatives to memory optimized tables, or I should say the tables that we have been using in the past, the traditional or the normal disk-based tables that we have been using in SQL, right? So those are called as disk-based tables. It is just that, you know, it is done to just ensure that we are able to differentiate between the memory optimized tables and disk-based tables, right? Now, in disk-based tables, as most of you would be aware, it has got pages of 8K, right? And you know that needs to be read from the disk and written back to the disk as a unit. Next is natively compiled stored procedures. So again, I already mentioned about this. This refers to an object type which is supported by only in-memory OLTP or only in-memory tables, I should say, right? And this is compiled to the machine code, and this basically has the potential to increase the performance even further, right? Because you know, it kind of helps you improve your performance if you kind of use them with your memory optimized tables. So the idea is that you have in-memory tables and you have disk-based tables. So if you're using natively compiled stored procedures, those stored procedures could only operate upon disk-based tables. They cannot operate with the traditional disk-based tables, right? Next is cross-container transactions. Cross-container transactions are those transactions which could refer both memory optimized tables and disk-based tables. Then there is definitely interop. Now this refers to the interpreted T-SQL that could refer both your in-memory table and your disk-based table. Okay. So this is how the typical in-memory OLTP architecture looks like, right? So here we are looking at the overview of how in-memory OLTP operations and data are handled differently, than the disk-based operations and the data in SQL Server, right? Now, during most of your data processing operations with in-memory OLTP, you might be unaware that you are working with memory optimized tables rather than just disk-based tables, right? So the working is so transparent, it is so seamless, right? However, behind the scenes, SQL Server works with your data very differently if it is stored as a memory optimized table, right? So although the in-memory OLTP is integrated with SQL Server Relational Engine and can be accessed using the same interfaces transparently, the internal behavior and the capabilities are very different, right? Now, in this particular diagram, as you can see on your screens right now, you can notice that the client applications are still connecting to the